So this is something that went down on Twitter like the Christmas Day or the day after Christmas or something like that. I think it was Sunday. So for those of you who do know Knxwledge, the producer who's also half of what's him and Anderson? No worries. Him and Anderson .𝗏. He's produced a lot. He's notoriously like just a producer though. All of his work, I don't know if it's still the case, but for a long time he had the most albums on Bandcamp. Like he has a bazillion projects on there. He makes a lot of beats.
Dope producer, man.
But he had this quote. When he didn't have a quote, he just said in all capital letters on Twitter on Christmas, he said, "Stop rapping, singing on my beats without my permission, then releasing them on streaming services. I'll keep deleting your songs, albums faster than they get heard. You're getting my own music created on my own stream flagged. Stop disrespecting my work and time." All in all, this is, I think most of us, all of us here, can be like, yeah, that makes sense, right?
100%.
So the reason why I'm even pulling this up is because there were a ton of people in the comments, and I'm guessing they were quote unquote rappers that were saying, "Well, where can I buy a beat then? You don't have any place for me to buy beats, or how can I buy a beat? This is the only way I can get the beats is by stealing them." And so
almost cussed right
it's this like whole narrative idea that because you make a beat. Now there's two producers on the New Old Heads, so obviously we're going to be super biased in this way, but I don't think there's any type of bias to even be had because this is the way it is. I just want to make a statement because I replied back to this as well, and I said, just because somebody makes a beat does not mean that any rapper has any type of semblance of a right, or that I have any type of. I don't make beats for rappers to just choose from.
Yeah.
That's not the point of
ass.
That's not why we make instrumentals necessarily, unless we have a store and we sell instrumentals,
right,
or something like that, or we're advertising that we're selling it. There is a such thing as instrumental music, and it's super big and it's a super major thing. But this one person was like, "Well, I looked for 15 minutes and couldn't find any way to buy your beats. Maybe it's
15 minutes, you say?"
But even still, he said, "Maybe it's your fault because you don't make it easy for people to buy your beats."
I mean, he said that to you?
Did he say the same thing to
Knxwledge.
Pharrell?
Oh, to Knxwledge. Okay.
Or are they saying the same thing to Pharrell? Because if Pharrell makes some instrumentals and you can't reach him because you probably can't, you're just going to take his beat.
Yeah.
Just because he doesn't sell it to you because you can't afford a Pharrell beat. I don't know how much Knxwledge charges.
He said he does not make beats for rappers. He said
there
that.
You go.
He
That's
said,
your answer.
He works with Anderson .𝗏. Yes, he's worked with a whole bunch of random people, but those are people that he has direct relationships with.
There we go.
You can't go out and just buy a beat from him because he doesn't want to work with you.
Yo, do y'all know how disrespectful it is to take someone's instrumental, record over it, and put it on a streaming service under your name as the artist on a stream? Do you know how disrespectful that is? That's like 5 levels of disrespect.
It's crazy.
That's a pandemic that's been going on for years,
bro.
Though.
𝗏𝗏, shout out to the homie 𝗏𝗏, friend of the show. He had to cut somebody up a few years back. A dude had like 12 songs on a SoundCloud page or something of all of his beats.
Well, it said produced by 𝗏𝗏 on them.
Well, not
too,
only that, he was out at some place in Chicago and somebody was performing all of this songs with his beats,
bro.
That's crazy.
That's so disrespectful, man. And in today's era, and with connectivity and the internet and how everything is so open,
there's no reason
why you can't either do the research, to Jay Moore's point when he said about the 15 minutes, or just be bold enough and confident enough to be like, "Hey, sir, my name is XYZ. I'm looking to inquire about beats. Let me know.
I'm serious.
All right, I'm very serious, and I'm ready to pay. I want to know what your prices are."
Every single time that I have inquired about beats, now granted, I'm a producer, but I'd have rapping stuff out there. And in 2008, I put out a mixtape, and my whole purpose of the mixtape was to rap on other people's producers that I really, or production that I really liked.
Yep.
And every single person on that project in 2008, I reached out to every single one. I reached out to you.
Yep.
Ill Brown, a whole bunch of people. Tall black guy.
Yep.
That's how we traded. That's the first time I ever had conversation with him. Some dude named Radius from Chicago.
Yep.
A whole bunch of people that I reached out to specifically. And there was one producer where I had a whole song done, but I didn't put anything out yet. And I reached out to him and he's like, "No, man." He was like, I kind of just wanted this to be like an instrumental. I had a different direction for it. I was like,
you have to respect that.
And then that's it. And then you move on from it.
You said no, and you
move on, and then you move on from it because you have to respect the fact that this is these people's work.
Right.
Like it's, and they get to choose what they want to do with it. So I just thought that was interesting.
I didn't hear your cousin Jimmy rapping on this beat. So
I mean, it's I don't know, man. It's just the process of actually sending what I would call just sending folders to people that have inquired. To me, that feels better than just having a whole bunch of instrumentals where people can do what you're talking about, the knowledge is talking about, what we're talking about.
Man.
Because it's so easy now just to rip and strip and two-track and have a
whole
two-track and be ready to go.
Off of YouTube rips.
Yeah. You can literally have a two-track and record.
Stems or anything.
But that's the thing. But even from like a legal, like number one, even back in 2008, it wasn't normal for people to make mixtapes and to actually reach out to producers. It was just a whole lot of jacking going on. It's just what it was. That was the culture at the time.
Facts.
But
for
it was
promotional use only.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it was a kind of an accepted part of the culture because streaming wasn't super major. But now that streaming is, the problem with you stealing somebody's beat is that when you put it on these platforms, and this is kind of what he said, is that his own songs are getting tagged in other people's stuff. So other people are literally
making his own songs get flagged.
Yeah, and he's getting demonetized.
Yeah.
And or they are monetizing off of his own stuff.
That's crazy.
It's wild, man.
Plus with the
it's the audacity to want, like, if you're gonna just put it out on Bandcamp to where like you're just gonna put it to your people or whatever and you're not even gonna sell it, that's one level that some people might be like, whatever.
I wouldn't be as mad.
But
exactly. Was getting away with it like in the Dat Piff
I wouldn't
days.
be as mad.
They were making whole albums pretty much jacking people's beats, but they weren't selling it.
Exactly. And so it's just another level. And even back then people were still like, nah, don't do that. And it's still frowned upon, and I think it should be frowned upon. I would feel funny if somebody had a bunch of my beats and they put stuff out and they didn't tell me. I've literally had to have conversations with people before using it for other purposes. But to put it on a distribution platform is a whole nother
That's foul,
level
man. You live in foul if you do that.
Now let me say this though, because I know Knxwledge does this. So he'll take an artist and pretty much redo their songs. So pretty much take their instrumental. I mean, things that you both have done before.
Right.
And he's gotten some of his work flagged because of that. So as producers, do you think that falls under the same umbrella, or do you think that's actually
like a remix?
Essentially, yeah. Or is that giving the artist kind of a jump shot that I actually like your song, but I wanted to put out a remix kind of,
it's completely different to me. It is completely different to me.
Okay.
Because you're taking something and you're like crafting something new, and you're giving more promotion to something. Like, you're not promoting me as a producer if you take my beat and you put produced by. That implies that I worked with you.
Right. That's what I was going to say, because when Knxwledge is tagged on Spotify or tagged on whatever streaming services, said artist, that fan base is like, oh, yo, you working with Knxwledge? Word? Yeah. I didn't know. I didn't realize you was working with him. And that person will be foul enough to be like, yeah, man, you know, we was talking a while back, and, you know, get the line on all that type of stuff. Yeah, and the next thing you know, you have your fan base thinking you developed a relationship that's foul. Yeah. It's not real.
Yeah, it's a little bit different in that aspect. Because I do remixes all the time.
Right.
But I won't ever put a remix on a distribution platform. Like, to me, that
my remixes are on Bandcamp.
No, I'll put them out on Bandcamp and they're free.
Grab them. Yeah, just go grab them.
And so, like,
or choose your own price.
And I'm tagging the artists, paying homage, like, yo, I just put a spin on it. This is my interpretation, but you know,
to me, that's part of the culture. It's remixing, and it always has been. But stealing somebody's work and putting it out, that's super new. And
they foul for that.
I think I'm just it's different.
He said no.
He's like, no.
Nah, they foul for that. If you out there doing that, you foul, and you lying on your relationships because you really don't have any. So do better.
There's plenty of BeatStars accounts out there. Go out there and
that you can actually pay for and get good product.
Yeah.
Or just DM somebody and
build.
Yeah.
Find a producer.
Take more than 15 minutes to try to find the information.
Especially if you want to buy a beat. There's plenty of people that you can buy from.
That's the thing. Like, I'm pretty sure he thought, wow, he typed that out thinking he really got himself some leverage, and people would understand. It was like, oh, he did take 15 minutes to do his due diligence, and there was just no other way but to steal.
Yeah, people have a weird sense of entitlement in this internet age.
So
just because you can Google a track and you liked it, you can't just take it because somebody's not responding to you.
I mean, the comments are crazy on this. Like,
I can only imagine.
Linguist is responding. Sage Francis, Eames, like a whole bunch of people are responding to this. So I mean, it's got like over, I think, 4.4 million views on this. Yeah,
that's quite the engagement.
Y'all cut it out, man. Y'all living foul out there. That's very disrespectful.
It ain't gonna stop it though.
It's
no,
not.
It's not. Stop it.
But they still living foul.
But here's the thing: if you are doing this, you will, just like he said, I will see that and I will keep deleting it. And then the problem that's going to happen is you are going to get the producers are going to remember you, and it's going to halt. It's going to look badly on your career. Like don't look. There's careers have been ended for less.
Facts.
So and
you don't
want to be that person in the industry.
You definitely don't want to be that guy. The guy that steals beats and puts them on streaming services. Yeah. Don't be that. Don't be that artist.
Look, there are people putting out whole songs by other people on streaming service, and I'm surprised it doesn't get caught.
True.
Yep.